Listen, I want to take back everything I've said about Steven Seagal in the past. And instead double the down. This movie is the peak. Zero exaggeration. And the worst part, it isn't even a Steven Seagal film. I must sound like a broken record at this point. Oh, he's barely even in the movie. Yeah, that's because he just showed up for 2 days, played grab ass with the extras, smoked his weight in cigars, and muttered his lines in whatever accent flavor of the day his horoscope told him to go with. But this is undeniably the worst offense by far. I get the marketing aspect of it, but the audacity to put this man anywhere near the cover. In this case, it's honestly just disrespectful to the actors who are the heart of this, albeit very flawed film. Lee Dong-shui, Yannicka Askevold, Clovis Fwan, those are main characters. By the way, sorry for any mispronunciation. Everybody in this movie, foreign as hell. Tyson's actually kind of warranted. I'm not mad about him on the cover, but like some of the covers marketed as Seagal vs. Tyson, which sure, they fight once, but also, this isn't even really true. They're basically on the same side for the majority of the movie. Did I say Mike Tyson's in this movie? Mike Tyson's in this movie. One of the greatest boxers of our generation. Known for some great one-liners like, "I'll fuck you till you love me." Tragic is one word you can use to describe this film. Another one is overstuffed. They had money. They had ideas. And that wasn't a great combination for them. They needed someone to settle them down. Just give them a little pop. That's stupid, we don't need that. There were no wranglers wrangling the pre-production. Like, you know those Hollywood movies that have been memed in the past that are just movie. Or how about The Exorcist 2, where leading up to the climax of the movie, 19 different fucking things are happening? That is this movie. On my first watch, I checked out at one point because I could no longer absorb more information. No joke. I thought the movie was over at one point. I was messaging my editor Scout about the ending, and I checked the timeline, and I still had 54 minutes left. I was dumbfounded. So much had happened. How the fuck is this movie not over? Please enjoy me struggling to describe the entirety of China Salesman to you. This one's gonna need the For the Fans intro for sure. We will thank our sponsor and then get into it. Okay, so I'm thinking around round 5, that's probably when that rheumatoid's gonna start hitting, and then that's when I'm gonna catch him. Pow, pow! That's when we got him right there. So, oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. You can call me Jake, JPZ, Mr. Knock Out Your Dad's Dad. I'm just busy training for my next fight, just really trying to work on breaking my bad habits inside the ring and also outside the ring. With today's sponsor, Fume, an award-winning flavored air device that has no vapor, no nicotine. It's just breathing in air with a little dash of sexy. You see, I got a pretty gnarly oral fixation, so this is perfect for me. Coach actually thought I was doing something naughty the first time he saw it, but after he was done complimenting the sleek look, and I told him about all the success stories, you're gonna see him in my corner, fuming up, baby. Who knows, maybe even me, mid-hook. Fume up, baby, just to make sure I got everything I need. And he'll be only one of 300,000 customers served. For a limited time, use code MistaGG to get your free Fume base when you order the Journey Pack. It's the all-new magnetic stand for your Fume device. Head to tryfume.com, that's tryfum.com, and use code MistaGG or scan the QR code on screen to get your free Fume base when you order your Journey Pack today. And thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this video. So we're in Africa, fresh off a war, and the government is looking to prioritize mobile telecom. Yan Jen is our main character and also currently narrating. Here's Steven Seagal on a bike. Also, here's me on a bike, LeBron. This feels like more work than just buying a helmet with a tinted visor. Or better yet, just don't use this shot, just use this one. The other one you shot of the bike. This is actually a pretty primo foreshadow for the movie's motto of, we didn't need to do that, but we can. Now the movie begins with narration, but the first line of in-person dialogue is a doozy. I'll let you guess what it is. I'll give you 3 choices. Play along at home, losers take a shot. A, Steven Seagal says, quote, "Where the hoes at?" B, Mike Tyson says a slur that we don't say anymore. Or C, the title of the movie.
China Salesman?
That's the first line in the script. And even better than that, he says that and nothing else.
China Salesman?
China Salesman. 5 Nights at Freddy's. Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. The what? Movie? This is real life, dog. Chase almost fucking died. Now, what's a Steven Seagal movie without Steven Seagal? The same exact movie? Correct. He's rarely that prevalent in his own movies nowadays, and even with that, I thought Tyson was gonna be the cameo of this movie. But he beats out Seagal's screen time pretty significantly. But here he is, bright and early in the movie, so he can then hibernate for 80 minutes. I've actually inadvertently reviewed Seagal's 3 most recent films, China Salesman next in line at 4th, and I feel like I'm never gonna be able to stop. Sometimes I'm so dialed into on-screen Seagal that I almost forget he's an actual person. Real life Steven Seagal is kind of like COVID, because you'll randomly see a news article about him and be like, Still? Not to mention they're only relevant because of a foreign superpower. Anyway, Seagal is in the middle of a deal. He's delivering enough weapons and ammunition to take down a small village. And in return, he receives these ashy-ass barrels of coconut wine. But how can he be sure it's good wine? Great question. Look at you, participating, gold star. But the simple answer, taste test. I'm sure there's a ladle around here somewhere. That's your barrel now, stupid ass. You sure you don't want to freshen up while you're at it? Asshole. Spoons? Silverware! Let me just dip my shitty booty hand in and then take a slurp from said shitty booty hand. Yeah, dab me up, baby. Like that shit? That shit sticky or what? Listen, I get we all got different customs. This motherfucker is in a bar. There are clean glasses right here. So anyways, the actual main characters. I mentioned Yan Jian, who is the
China salesman.
He's out here trying to help win his company a bidding so they can control the communications between North and South Africa. He's going to attempt to do that with his 2 most powerful traits, sales and being Chinese. Michael, the guy who said
China salesman,
is apparently a French spy trying to win the bidding so they can control the mineral resources of Africa. And Michael will eventually hire Seagal and Tyson to help him win. I wouldn't be able to fully explain this plot without Wikipedia. And I'm not even sure if that shit's right.
Susanna, I have a spare car you can use.
Thank you, Michael.
Listen, if you've been with me for a minute, first off, love you. You're not gonna say it back. But there was a video where I covered a phony dating site with video testimonials. And I'm just gonna play you some clips back to back for no reason whatsoever.
Thanks for dating.com for this meeting.
I like men.
There are certain lines we'd better not cross.
Okay. I take it back.
So Mike Tyson, the champ, has been in a handful of movies. You're probably familiar with the Hangover cameo, which was funny and worked well because Mike Tyson played Mike Tyson. But when you have Tyson play an African general named Kaba and force him to do an accent, which respectfully, champ, he cannot do, you get this.
Our people are not extinct. We're now spread all over Africa. For sure I can recover our nation, but I need your help.
In that one read alone, you heard Tyson attempt the accent, give up on it for the next line, and then just have the rest of his lines sloppily dubbed. By the way, what he's saying doesn't even make sense because Michael here, stupid ass name, tells Tyson, I dug up this history book that talks about how your ancestors lost their country 2,000 years ago and nearly went extinct. Tyson reads the glossary and then says,
Our people are not extinct.
he didn't say they are. Who wrote this? We're not even at the mountain yet, by the way. This next scene is the epitome of the sheer disconnect in this movie. Seagal enters the scene where Tyson and Mike and Tyson, are talking. Please just watch.
On the house, gentlemen.
Thanks.
I don't drink. All right.
Man of the Mandulu.
Do I even need to say anything? No! Shut up. Because I'm gonna. Seagal pulls up with his henchman, Stone Cold Steve fucking San Antonio. This guy does not fit in this world at all. And I realize I'm saying that in a frame that also has Jake Paul's future boxing opponent and the blues musician behind Alligator Ass. He asks Michael how he's doing, don't know where he's looking. Michael doesn't respond, and he just immediately says, good, good, good.
Hey, Michael, how you? Good, good, good.
It's like he maybe did say something on set, but we don't hear it, nor is it dubbed. So you get this clunkety-dunkety ass interaction where Tyson says, wait guys, I think I finally got this accent down.
I don't drink.
And cut. That was perfect, Mike. Are you sure? I feel like maybe it could have been better. No, you definitely sound like the accent that you're going for. Okay. Okay, everybody. We're gonna take 5, so if you can just... Are you lying? Mike, I would never. Okay. You better not be lying. I'll fucking kill you. This scene's also weird because everyone is so difficult to understand. Tyson's got his lisp and is adding this Looney Tunes accent on top of it. This fella sounds French as hell. Seagal mumbles without subtitles. I didn't know who the hell was on whose side. So as Tyson said,
I don't drink.
his country, the one he's in, has an alcohol prohibition which he stands by. That's why Seagal's got this speakeasy deal going. So to persuade him to drink, Michael's like, you know, your people's warriors used to be tough men who could hold their drinks. Tyson doesn't care. Then he says, well, you have to drink anyways, that's the rule here. Because otherwise Seagal thinks you're gonna report him for selling. Tyson denies even thinking of reporting him, so he just doesn't drink and then tries to leave. And that's where we hear this guy's first line. Drink you must. This is where Seagal's fed up, gives his smiley ass bartender the signal to piss in a glass and have Tyson, who was allergic to a second take, drink it. And this is a serious moment.
And drink this.
You don't just put in a cinematic boom unless there's some nice, warm, African piss in a pint. Tyson whoops his ass, and this action scene isn't the worst because Tyson looks good throwing a punch. Like, is there dumb shit like this guy choosing to throw a barrel that Tyson uppercuts? This guy landing a straight kick to Tyson's face, which he eats? Yes. This girl breaks a bottle over Tyson's head, and Tyson, assuming he was a fellow penis, retaliates only to be stopped by Stephen Frederick Seagal because he supports women. Is there a picture up here that just says Africa? What National Geographic cover did you take this from? Anyway, they face off after trading blows, and Steven does this.
How you doing, sweetheart? Everything good? Happy? All right? I'm smoking greens right here. You're a bunch of assholes. Get the fuck out of here.
Aren't those your guys? You own the place. So if you're new here, Seagal's got a bit of an ego because he never, I repeat, never loses a fight. He does not die, even when he's the antagonist of the fucking movie. In some movies, he doesn't even get touched. So this fight is interesting because they go back and forth. Now, I think Seagal shows the most prowess, especially with his coveted backspinning earlobe tap. That shit's no joke. That'll have you picking up the morning radio for the next week. I just hope Tyson doesn't respond with an ear attack of his own, because that one's gonna be worse. But shockingly, and I mean shockingly, Tyson wins the fight. And even crazier than that, he's holding Seagal's head down in broken glass like a bully, then pops him one before he leaves. Pretty demeaning shit that I assume normally does not fly with the big double S. And granted, this technically isn't Seagal. It's this guy. I don't know if that was a loophole. I mean, I know it's a stunt double, but it's funny to think of Seagal thinking, well, once I start actually losing the fight, I'm not going back on camera. Yeah, I'm actually done for the day. Goodbye. Like, he could have subbed in here when the guy's head is in the fucking shelf to help with the realism, but he wasn't gonna. I feel like he agreed to lose the fight out of respect to Tyson, or China was like, bro, we don't give a fuck. You're getting overpaid as is. You're taking a fall. So I'll try to save you the bore of the drama surrounding the heated debate of 3G being the standard in the telecom bidding over GSM and CDMA. AKA the worst soap opera ever. But I kind of have to explain it to you, otherwise the plot doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. Keep in mind, I watched this movie twice without fully understanding what I'm about to tell you, so maybe it doesn't matter. Yanjin said 3G should be the standard for the bidding because it's better, faster, and he knew he could phase out some competing companies in that one move. Yanjin works with DH Telecom and Michael works with MTM. They are now the only two who can compete in 3G. Yanjin thought he was ahead of the curve because he secretly knew his company had worked on some 3G prototypes already, but they haven't officially put them into production, so they refused to send him one to use for the bidding, until he tells one of his bosses he can make the 3G speed even faster with an enhancement program he's been working on, and they have to give him a prototype to work with if he proves it works. Someone thought this was interesting. Okay, quick important scene break with Seagal. Pay attention.
Hey, Ramling, how are you?
Louder. Just leave me alone.
Good idea.
Did you get that? Hey, that better still be from your barrel. So Tyson is spying on Yan Jian. He's taking photos, bugging his phone, the whole nine. I guess the apparent French spy needed this African general to do a bunch of spy shit. Tyson learns that Yan Jian finished his program, and that's gonna help DH with a faster speed. Also, that he has received a 3G test machine, which is not certified, which I guess isn't cool. So he just disguises it with spray paint, like Ben Stiller did in Meet the Parents. Psh, 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 Jinxie cat. Michael hears about it and calls Seagal to get his hands on that enhancement program. And he says, yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, pretty sure this is it. You have it. It's a program. My bad, I thought you said fat ass. The signal not that good. Yeah, that's kind of the thing we're trying to do right now. You said you wanted a bro slam? Cause I don't roll that way, pimp. You already know. I mean, want the punani. It's so weird because she didn't even need to be in this scene. She just delivers him fake coffee and he sends her back to her hole after he gets the call. He's not even doing anything. He's just sat here looking at photos of him. By the way, before I info dump on you again, I think it's a good time to bring up how the title sequence says China Salesman. This movie is based on the true story. Not the true story you were thinking of, dumbass. The true story. Now, just in case we're unaware, the based on a true story thing used to be a sexy little draw for horror movies mainly. You telling me this happened? No. Now, is there a real person who has that name and maybe had the same occupation? Sure. Did he see a ghost power blast his wife against the door and start an in-house tornado? I think that was just a little remixing. I don't know what story this is based on. With the movie being so convoluted and all the boring telecom shit we're forced to sit through, you would think that that's all in there because that's all the true shit of the true story. And the Seagal Tyson shit is the remixing. There are even these little paragraphs at the end telling you what happened beyond the movie, which is normally, once again, the true shit. And I searched the names, the crimes, African telecom advancement, and I found nothing. I read other reviews and nobody else seems to know either. The only thing I found was this Hollywood Reporter article just sucking the movie's balls, talking about some of the things the director has said, which I have no clue where they even got that. I wasn't able to find any other articles, any videos. I have the fucking Blu-ray. It doesn't say on the back anything about director's commentary. It says bonus features, image slideshow, and theatrical trailer. I have the full movie. Why the fuck? The writer seems to be the most knowledgeable on the movie, but even they lead their description with based on a supposedly true story. If the man who wrote an article glazing the movie doesn't know, then I don't know who does. Anyway, I've started to realize at this point that this movie is too much to describe, but I've already taken on the challenge, and I'm not a pussy. But I need to do at least one of these, a quick fire session, so you realize how much random shit happens in this movie. Ready? Susanna drives Yan Jian out here to do something on a tower. He takes in some views, Susanna just fucks off, takes in some views of her own, beautiful music plays. Yan Jian asks for her fingerprint over the walkie to finalize the process of what he's doing, but he can't find her. Turns out, there are apparently women trying to sacrifice a child and Susanna's being held back from trying to save that child. She just saw that while admiring the horizon, I guess. So Yan Jian pulls up, kidnaps the child, jumps in the back, soldiers appear, whip him off the back, they chase Susanna, shoot at her, a horse collapses, she gets away. So they hang Yan Jian like a turkey while he yells, "You barbarians!" Susanna gets to a doctor, nighttime falls, soldiers catch up to Susanna. Oh, it's the little girl's dad. Touching moment. Saeed from the wine deal shows up to this piñata fest. He talks with Susanna and says, "We have different religions and customs, though we misunderstood each other," and thanks her for her kindness, which doesn't clear up anything. It like fence sits on what they were actually doing to begin with. It's not an explanation at all. Yan Jian's partner picks him up and he's asking what happened. Turns out the girl was safely returned, and the only way they let Yan Jian loose was for him to chug a jar of booze because, as mentioned earlier, you're supposed to be a big drinker if you're a true warrior. Also, Saeed gifted him some wine as a going away gift like a jerk because, haha, hangover. This all happens in just 6 minutes of screen time, and we're not even at the 30-minute mark of this movie. And listen, I'm sure I could describe any action scene like that and make it sound like it's so much more than what it is, but the fact that this arises from nowhere took a lot of manpower to get on the screen to begin with, and ultimately doesn't really matter for the remainder of our watch. What the hell are we doing? Do we just have money? I don't understand. It has to be that we just had so much money. And we just, China, let me hold $1. Susanna receives these photos where she can apparently tell what's happening, and she reports it to a higher up. Yan Jian is being bad. but he doesn't care. Then we randomly see Yan Jian pour out the wine he got and ask to fill it with goat's milk. And then we're at the bidding. Now, Susanna's kind of racist because she never calls Yan Jian by his name. She only calls him
China salesman.
even after they went through all of this together. Now, Michael's got like 5 tricks up his sleeve to make sure that he wins the bidding, aside from being involved with Susanna. I guess they're like romantically involved, which means they're supposed to be intimate, I suppose. Just look at those sparks fly. The first trick up his sleeve.
This is the jammer you wanted. And best of all, it is absolutely untraceable. Good job.
So they have to showcase a successful phone call at the bidding, but this jammer is going to interfere with that.
I just sneezed.
But you heard the man. It is absolutely untraceable. We'll never be able to... Oh, the guy's there at the bidding. This is the jammer.
It is absolutely untraceable.
Is that you? Yan Jian tries to find a workaround, but that's when Michael's second trick goes into motion. He opens his email to photos of a destroyed helicopter, and then sends an email to Tyson saying, Togar is dead, bring your guys over here. You probably don't understand. Obviously, an important person to the country and to Tyson has just died in a helicopter crash. I don't think he's in the movie. But this very urgent email is gonna fire up Tyson to go to the bidding. This is apparently somewhat breaking news, and he was sent photos of the crash site already. I don't know who sent it. I don't know why to him. I don't know how or if this was even pre-planned at all. Anyway, while he's doing that, Yan Jian flexes that he has a backup, and his calls actually can't be jammed. And that's when the third trick immediately goes into action. The police bust through the door asking for Yan Jian, who is now being arrested for, quote, drinking and hiding alcohol. There's a lot to take in here again. I actually don't know if this is Michael's doing or if this is just sheer coincidence, because Asaid gave him those canteens, but Michael had no part in that. Furthermore, we're awkwardly shown him dumping it out anyways and filling it with goat's milk. And as he's arrested, he's yelling that he was set up.
I was set up!
Let's go.
Trust me!
Let's go.
I said I did not put the alcohol in there!
Boils this alcohol.
But then I thought about it, and there is this well-edited scene shortly before the bidding.
Don't worry, the police have been paid off.
Okay.
Aha! Tyson obviously paid the police to falsely arrest Yang Jiang. But if that was the plan, why the hell did you even bother with the jammer? And more importantly, this could have been the fucking plan. Yan Jian was out of the picture already. Michael was gonna win the bidding. But then Tyson shows up and shoots those very cops. They shoot all the equipment, they throw nades in empty rooms that got like only one chubby monitor. I genuinely don't understand. Maybe this next scene will clear something up. Huh. That's actually quite clever. At least in the way I'm taking it, it's like Tyson's projecting the dereliction of his fealty, but metamorphosing it into an incursion. The goofy dub grunt representing the barbarity of it, and the literal butt of the gun representing how ass this movie is.
The capital is in chaos. The Civil War is unavoidable.
This is Andy Nelson reporting live from the Capitol.
So yeah, there's a civil war now happening in the country. Togar was a new leader slash vice president, and Tyson believes the government had something to do with his death. So now there's an uproar in the country. And I hate that I have to make sense of all this for you, because I don't want to do this. I'll tell you straight up, I really don't. It's out of love at this point. The things I do for love. So here's the very glaring, stupid part to all of this. And fucking listen, I didn't think of everything in this movie for you to not fucking listen. Togar just died by chance in a chopper. The government had nothing to do with it. That's truth. But Tyson believes they did. And I guess that was somewhat insinuated in this email. It wasn't. But now Tyson's out to avenge Togar. So he's just here to slaughter. But going off that, I guess this means Tyson started the Civil War in a matter of, I don't know, a minute and a half, just off an assumption. right? Because if Tyson didn't get the news himself, because he still questions Michael on the legitimacy of the news when he arrives, that means his high-tech, ear-to-the-streets ass hasn't gotten that intel. Meaning, no one rioting now has either. Which means, this all has to be Tyson's fault, right? Michael tells him the truth once he's there, and already killed multiple people and started a war, and Tyson's not even for war. But Michael tells him the war between the North and the South was inevitable. So he should take advantage to start anew and give his people land or some shit. Because when they're able to kill the communication between people, that'll be their time to strike.
Michael.
Oh, also, Michael's colleague was in the stall and then gets shot for trying to tell everybody what's happening.
I will tell everyone the truth.
Yeah, good job telling them that while you were leaving, Dick. Then something possesses Yan Jian to grab a radio and start holding it up like he knows the announcements over the radio are about to say something important that'll stop this war. Which coincidentally, they will, because they're starting to announce the cause of the chopper crashing, which was just an accident. But right before it does, Tyson just walks out of the bathroom, shoots it out of his hand. Come on, fellas. And I guess no one else in town had a radio either. So that never gets delivered. All right, see you, Tyson.
Destroy them all.
Good luck with that. So this is when a third group barrels through the door in a tank and shoots Tyson's soldiers that stayed behind. And this group that just murdered people, this is the North Army. Tyson's South Army just left. So now, this is the new dilemma. By the way, we're at 40 minutes out of 110, or a little over a third of the movie. Send help. So the North and South need to get on a call and decide whether they are going to battle or not. That call needs to be broadcasted for the media to hear, and this must be done before 9 a.m. tomorrow. If it is not, they're just gonna start blasting, I suppose.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
So the North Army needs the help of all these telecom professionals who just so happen to all be in the same building today.
Maybe there is another solution, regardless of the gunfire.
Who are you?
A China salesman.
China salesman?
How many times are we gonna say the title of this movie? I love how no one's even like, you got a name? China salesman? All right, yeah, that rolls off the tongue. The Europeans are mean to Yan Jian. The Africans are mean to him. But he is the hero of the film. He is intelligent and brave and Chinese. Do not forget that he's Chinese. Yan Jian puts his first plan into action and Michael realizes it's probably gonna work. So he orders Kaba to knock out the 3 towers at the north-south border. He's doing this in the bathroom again, with the door open this time, in this echoey ass bathroom.
At the north-south border, especially the one in the bay.
Yan Jian, in a couple of seconds, figures those towers are probably damaged, so he agrees to go fix them.
The receivers might be damaged.
Can you fix it, Mr. Salesman?
I guess that's more polite. He says he needs Susanna to go with him because her fingerprint is the master key for all of Africa for whatever reason. There's some bickering about the alcohol, DH losing the bidding, how Susanna is useless on this mission, and they move out. Tyson's a strategist, right? Modern day Napoleon. He spots the North Army rather quick and gives very precise instructions.
Fire! Go! Go!
Wait, you're having them leave the tank? The well-being of Africa relies on these 2 idiots. Why wouldn't they at least stay in this bunker with wheels?
Fire!
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 Fire! Fireball! General, we're surrounded! General? There's no following the fight, it's just people blowing shit up. They fixed the first relay tower and are now crossing the southern border. And remember, the southern troops don't know if they should be fighting or not. But if they see northern troops approaching, they're gonna shoot them and fucking blow them up because that's what they think they wanna do. So when they're pulling up, the northern general tells his troops, do not shoot. Even if you're shot at, we have to prove to them that we are not here to fight. So to make this apparent, they try to find some sort of UN flag or Red Cross flag to wave to let them know they come in peace. They don't have one because why the fuck would they? But that's when Yan Jian gets a crazy idea.
I got this. Chinese flag.
Chinese flag?
China salesman.
China salesman?
I doubt it can work. Impossible.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Swayed easily, are we? Get a spine, bitch. They pretty much brush off the idea, but that's when Yan Jian remembers, the main character. And he shuffles through gunfire and a rocket barrage to stop the Southern troops from attacking. China rules, dude. We get at least 52 shots of the Chinese flag dancing with grace, the European woman waving it proudly, the African troops respecting its presence. The flag has brought peace to this war zone. The African troops start saying ni hao and shit. This movie's just straight up Chinese propaganda. Marketed as Seagal versus Tyson. Who wins? China. China wins. So they make it to the second relay tower that has just been blown up. And they ask around this tiny settlement as to what happened.
Is this your goat? Madam, excuse me.
Was that a Hummer in a tent? A Hummer hidden in a tent? It was, wasn't it? Why did she pick up the animal? Why did she do that? Is this your goat? Is this your goat? Is this your goat?
I remember about 400,000 years ago, I was chilling with my hunter-gatherer tribe eating some chewy-ass antelope.
Carnage ensues, and Yan Jin pulls up to save Susanna along with some random women. The goat is left to die. The northern general gets gunned down, and with leftover wobbly strength, he throws one of those last-second Jokic threes, and it hits Tyson's tank. Yan Jin gets stuck and then ran over like fucking Wile E. Coyote. He's fine somehow, and he saves Susanna after she takes a nasty hit to the head. The northern leader walkies. He's still alive, by the way. He walkies for these two, and Yan Jin is giving up like a pussy.
It's hopeless. It's impossible. Impossible.
Yan Jin, I know you can do it.
Tyson is woken up because of the yelling and then just kills the northern leader because he's yelling right outside of his tank. So this is pretty much all Yan Jin's fault. He wouldn't have yelled if he didn't give up. Show the flag now. Yan Jin then miraculously gets away because Tyson insisted on running him over with the tank as opposed to, I don't know, something else. There's a sandstorm brewing. So everyone decides to take a little halftime break right now because we can't see. So listen up. There are two towers somewhere that can form a signal if they're able to reach each other. But there is a 20-kilometer gap. However, according to Yan Jin, the sandstorm may cause an unusual disturbance in the ionosphere, which might help the transmissions close that gap.
The sandstorm may cause an unusual disturbance in the ionosphere.
I don't think you heard me. Don't you get it? The sandstorm may cause an unusual disturbance in the ionosphere.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
So Yan Jin starts driving towards one of the towers, and he talks to Susanna about releasing the 3G source code to the public. You guys probably have no fucking clue about anything I'm saying, but it's so stupid because I have to say it. I would not be doing my job if I wouldn't be. There's 1% of you. 1% of you have been following me this long into this stupid story. Half of you have tuned me out. The other 30% are taking a fat shit right now watching me, not caring at all. They're mid-wipe. They're like telecom source going in one ear, out the other, out their ass. Nobody's here for this. But I have to tell you, because for the 1%, they're gonna be like, what's that? But hold on, bridge that gap for me, what's going on? I'm just listening, kicking my feet like a little toddler. So as I was saying, he talks to Susanna about releasing the 3G source code to the public. DH Telecom source code. I think he's saying that so there's not a real need for a bidding anymore, so Africa can just do it themselves now. And here's Susanna's input to hearing that idea.
Though your idea is really annoying, I have to say it's great.
And speaking of great ideas, they arrive at the tower and Susanna gives him the Chinese flag to carry with him.
Take this, Lucky Charm.
Lucky Charm. Just carry this big ass flag as you climb this big ass tower. I'm sure this will make it easier somehow. Can you even do this? Just plop down your country's flag wherever you feel like it? This is like when Mr. Beast put the Shopify flag down in Antarctica. Sheikh Said is here, and he vows to protect this tower. They pull up on the Northern Army, who are also there, and on the same side now, I suppose. And while they're both standing there, that's when Tyson sneaks up with a tank and shoots the tower. Oh no, Yan Jin! Grab the flag! Grab the flame. Also, Tyson, you still had some rockets in that thing? That's so kooky of you. Sarah's second missile has hit the relay towers. Sarah's second sandstorm has hit the ionosphere. Tyson tries taking down this rando chopper attacking him, and then he blows up. By the way, did I clarify that Yen Zhen fell off this whole ass tower? Because he did. He fell off that whole ass tower. But don't worry, even though he's gotten thrown from a moving vehicle, cold cock, ran over, and fallen 10 stories, his shirt's just a little messy. Nothing a Tide pen and a little forehead kiss can't fix. So the chopper that just blew up Mike Tyson lands and says this.
We are UN peacekeepers. We can't get involved in the war.
You guys must think I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this movie. Incorrect. I'm explaining it perfectly. And that's the problem. The UN fella says, what else can I help you with? So he takes him up in the chopper, and they use the chopper as a tower to carry that signal that they were initially trying to carry. Yen Zhen connects them, and the South calls the North just in time. And the South's on the phone. We know the truth about the chopper crash. We know you guys weren't involved, and we want to work towards peace. And it's a very emotional but triumphant moment.
We have to protect what we have achieved so far.
Cool.
The streets rejoice because now they decided to turn on the radios, I guess. Some Southern soldiers find Tyson and threaten to kill him, but Sheikh Said shows up and he says, no, the war is over. We will not kill our own. Let him go. And he gives him some words of advice. He smacks a horse on the ass and he sends him on his way. And DH Telecom wins the bidding because of the unwavering spirit of a China salesman. And that is where this Steven Seagal movie ends. You see what I mean? That was excruciating to describe to you. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe. I'm so close to 1 million What? Sober? I wish I wasn't. Over? The movie's not over? The movie's over. The China salesman did the sale. He did the China salesman did the sale. That's the whole fucking thing. How is there movie left? So Michael pulls up with a lawyer, announcing that they are filing a lawsuit against DH Telecom for intellectual property infringement and fraudulent business practices. And that halts everything for some reason. You know how many fraudulent lawsuits must be filed every single day? Those companies don't just stop doing what they do. It's a legal matter that takes for fucking ever. But funny enough, he does this. And then he also tells the media, follow me. All the evidence, right here. And I didn't understand this part for a very long time, but he pulls up to DH Telecom's equipment that they have been using through Crisis, and he exposes that they were actually using MTM branded pieces this entire time because DH isn't actually capable of 3G technology. Take that. Now, if you missed it, because you did, when they were setting everything up for the emergency transmission, DH's motherboard is fried. So someone else brings them MTM stuff to use because that wasn't damaged. And whether this was somehow a part of Michael's plan, not even gonna go there, but Yen Zhen, clear as day, says,
Director Omar and Susanna are my witnesses.
Which, correct. But for whatever reason, they don't say anything of value here. Susanna gets a little cheesed, and Omar's just smiling, like, ooh. The plot thickens. Can your freaky ass say something? And this apparently has immediate results, and DH is informed in seconds that they are disqualified from the bidding. Like literally, breaking news. Michael responsible for the infringement. That is aggressively inaccurate. I don't know, guys. It reads like somebody who worked on your movie also didn't know what the fuck was happening in the movie. They later tried to appeal to the president. Thanks for finally caring, Omar. Glad you took the time out of your day to wrangle up your erection. But he says, sorry, this lawsuit is politics now. We don't want to piss off the West, so we're just gonna let this ride out. And Susanna, the bright soul that she is, brings up, he just kind of saved everyone from going to war and destroying this beautiful land. And like I said, he thinks, yeah, absolutely. Can't piss off the West. And I love how there's no confidence on either side in just potentially getting this boofy-ass lawsuit thrown out. The man tinkered with evidence on air, and there are a dozen witnesses that can testify that they all just used what they could in that moment. This might be the stupidest thing possible to keep dragging this movie out. Anyway, I don't understand the next part to this. Hey, Gigi, have you understood fucking anything? I'm trying more. than I guarantee anybody who has ever watched this stupid movie. I don't even know how much you need to understand this part, but if you're curious, which I know you are, big telecom fans in the audience, Yan Jian, as he's being fired, says that he has worked out a proposal for a public source code. And if the board accepts it, they will not only win the lawsuit, but they also will win a ton of orders. And they blow him off regardless. He's fired. Seagal's back in the movie, but don't blink. By the way, we have had so many shots of this guy just on a call with very similar camera work every single time. So Seagal calls Michael saying he quits. And if you don't remember, you don't, he was hired to get his hands on Yan Jian's enhancement program. But for whatever reason, he just flipped and no longer wants to do it. But not before Michael randomly gasses him up about his past reputation as a badass mercenary. Hell yeah, Seagal. I was looking for another reason to like you. Seagal then hops on his bike and rides off into the sunset. Yan Jian then randomly gets jumped at night, and that's when Seagal, that's where he was going. Stuntman Seagal pulls up to save the day. And yeah, they do the thing again. Michael also randomly pulls up and he shoots a bit as Seagal drives off while Yan Jian planks the whip. How everybody landed here at the same time? That's just one of the mysteries of life, baby. I know you're starting to sense a theme here, but I didn't realize this at my first or second watch. But Seagal in this scene actually steals Yan Jian's enhancement program out of his bag. The only reason I know that is because Michael says it in the next scene when he pays Seagal a visit. Which, what is this, like the next morning? Did he just follow Seagal home? Michael demands the program that Seagal grabbed, and then he signals to Brownsburg, who proceeds to put money on the table.
Fuck you.
Bro, are you him or not? These two slowly closed in, hit you with a word to your mother, and that stops you? This fella's not even looking at you. Weren't you just armed and with henchmen? What the fuck was your plan? So I guess Yan Jian was DoorDash to Sheikh Saeed, and now he's talking to this fella, and I don't know if it's the acting or all the dubbing, or they just hired a freaky ass cast, but like, why do all the dudes sound like this?
Get it as soon as you can.
I like you, young man.
Okay, so Creep McGee over here is the head of the largest European telecom company, LK. Yes, we did need another. And he wants Yan Jian to work for him, but Yan Jian wants to stick it out and do well by his company. And then we see Yan Jian, disappointed, talking to the Sheik, and he throws away what I'm assuming is supposed to be his enhancement program that he's been carrying around, you know, kind of signaling that he's giving up. This is too much for him. There's nothing he can do. But one tiny detail, Seagal has that. Right? Do you not know that? Did you not look at what you were carrying? If this isn't your enhancement program, then what the hell is this supposed to be? You just tossing out some perfectly usable equipment? You didn't want to run it by the Sheik first to see if he was a little low on RAM? As far as we've been shown, Seagal didn't return the program. So, the Sheik's palace gets broken into that night. He whoops some ass, but he gets popped trying to save our boy. Pour one out for the Sheik. But that's when the Sheik's highly trained men show up with the big guns. And they lose sight of the gunmen. And everyone in this movie is bad at their job. Apparently the masked man who killed the Sheik and got away was Michael himself. And I am still very confused, because this idiot takes Yan Jian's bag in the effort to steal the enhancement program he so desperately wants. But once again, Seagal has it. Michael knows that. He might be the only man that does know that in this movie, because he tells Seagal to his face to cough it up, and he apparently saw him take it when he was taking fucking little pot shots at him. I mean, I can at least pretend to believe that Yan Jian's an idiot and just grabbed all the equipment from his bag, assuming the program was still there too, and that's what he thinks he tossed. I mean, it's a stretch, but how the hell are you surprised? You know he doesn't have it. We move quick from here, and they try to reiterate the solution for both sides because as an audience, we really need this. Not being sarcastic, nobody knows what the hell is going on. But this is what it is. If Yan Jian can make DH's source code public with a proposal to their headquarters, they can win the lawsuit. Once again. So now Michael has to find Yan Jian and kill him to stop him from doing so. Whether he knew that before or after, he had the perfect opportunity to do so. And he also still needs to get his hands on the program that Seagal has. So we see Yan Jian playing peekaboo as the Sheik's men try and get him out of Africa, I guess. And at the end of that, we now see that Yan Jian is lost, slowly dying in the desert. Here's a really emotional scene from that.
I have to do whatever it takes.
I need to release the H3
source code to show our transparency.
You can do it.
So my first watch, when I told you that I just started to like zone out around this part of the movie, I remember watching this next part and thinking, what in the hell did I miss? That I am currently watching this on my screen. So here's another tearjerker moment for you. What are you doing, Yan Jian? Why is this happening? Susanna, you're naked. Yan Jian, you started the rolling sequence. You initiated the roll. It's weird because you're not dead. You're gonna be well and alive after this scene, so I don't understand this. Must release the source code. That's you. You fucking idiot. We then get introduced to a new character with a face tattoo who talks, Mike Tyson's back and you can actually blink. He'll kind of matter from now on. So there's a clip from this movie that's coming up soon that's made the rounds and is pretty funny. But I just want to say, there are so many more from the movie that deserve a similar amount of love. And here's one of my favorites right now.
Son of a bitch, what are you trying to do? Kill me?
Hey. Shut up. Michael pulls up on Tyson to bring him back into the operation, persuading him with money he can use to give his tribe some land and homes, and Tyson bites. And boy does he. Yan Jian is still trying to leave Africa, so here's another quick clip. I can't make that funnier than it already is. That's like some incredible bulk shit in a multi-million-dollar international production. So because the fella with the cute little photo was a rat, Tyson and Michael find Yan Jian and force him to start his enhancement program he sent through an email or something. I don't know what the hell Michael said. Then this movie gets a bit more bold with its subtle messaging. Michael just goes on like a kind of racist tirade talking about the West owns Africa. They brought modern civilization there, so they own their past and they own their present. So stay out of this.
China sells man.
Yan Jian is absolutely disgusted at such a claim.
Is slave trade part of your civilization? And spreading war and hunger part of your democracy?
He then references somebody's fleet that came from China reaching Africa hundreds of years ago and how that person only left, quote, friendship and peace, which made me take the time to read up on who he's referencing here and also to see if I could find something besides friendship and peace, because I think it'd be funny if they just chose to have him lie in this throwaway line where they're like bigging up China. But alas, as far as I can see, the famous Admiral Zhang He pulled up to multiple pieces of land to be a homie, trade some gifts, let everybody know that China's out here, and only flex the muscle when he absolutely needed to. So, checks out. China 1, Europe 0. Tyson takes Yan Jian outside to throw him overboard, and they didn't even try to make it seem like he's struggling to hold on here. Like he's off the side of a boat, and he's just calmly readjusting himself, and he's telling Tyson that Michael killed his Sheikh Asaid, and he has the proof. Let me just slowly reach in my pocket one sec, just gotta find this silly thing. First of all, Tyson didn't even know the Sheikh's dead, so Yan Jian could just be lying, and he can't verify it either way. But here's Yan Jian showing him Michael's button that he accidentally left at the scene of the crime that he could have really gotten at any point. But Tyson bites. And boy, does he. Meanwhile, Michael gets stumped with some joke.exe after he thought he cooked, and when he comes out to get Yan Jian back, Tyson tells him he already jumped, which is a funny way to put it, because you were supposed to throw him, Tyson. I mean, either way, it's pretty intense stuff. Here's the next scene.
追杀严建是吧？我他妈有1000多个理由追杀严建。
Hey, why don't you guys speak English?
You know what's funny? When I first saw this, I saw this out of context clip before I saw the movie. And I thought, well, once I see the movie, this scene's gonna make a lot more sense. And after watching this movie multiple times and spending hours trying to make sure that I'm explaining it correctly to you, dissecting the scenes, making sure that I am the China salesman mastermind. I don't know why that line's in the movie. Is it supposed to be funny? It is, but did they want that reaction? Seagal sounds genuine. Hey, native Chinese speakers, let's remix this bad boy, huh?
追杀严建是吧？我他妈有1000多个理由追杀严建。
Hey, Buhao Isa Cholo de Lian. 谢谢. I've been fucking a lot of Chinese women recently. Seagal tells him he knows where Yan Jian is going and they can help him. So Yan Jian makes it to DH headquarters and everybody pulls up Avenger style to help him gain access to the 3G source code with the necessary authorization. I can just say random big words here and you're just gonna look at me and nod. It's adorable. Look at you. His homie then passes him back the program that he has not had because Seagal was the one that gave it to this guy. Yan Zhen, of course, doesn't question anything. Doesn't think, I thought I threw that into a canyon weeks ago. Although I was just severely dehydrated in the desert, throwing my brain into tumble dry low for about a mile down. So maybe my memory, judgment, not the best right now. And then we're also told that Seagal just up and left to South America. So he's out of the movie now. I'm not kidding.
There goes my hero.
So they all start dark webbing together, and Yan Zhen tells the crew he'll take all the heat for this as he releases the source code to the leader of LK Telecom that he spoke to earlier that likes young men. By the way, while watching this scene, I just remembered how funky the timeline is in this movie, but we're almost at the end. Just let me finish. Michael and Tyson pull up to an event and secretly plant explosives everywhere. And in the back, Michael questions Tyson, who's setting up a camera because that's not a part of the plan. And Tyson's like, no worries, it's a souvenir. And Michael's like, all right. Click. He senses a betrayal coming. The event is the leader of LK announcing who he believes is the next leader in this industry. And the audience murmurs, who could that be? Who are they talking about? Fucking one of them has the balls to say, is it Yan Zhen? And he announces the winner of this massive project that I don't think is related to the bidding. I don't think I've heard about this yet, but he says DH Telecom is the winner. That's when Yan Zhen pulls up late in the Uber and he gets a standing ovation. The great China salesman. Michael orders Tyson to blow everyone up. What's his plan after that? I don't think they know. And this is another fun line, kind of small, but we're almost done, might as well.
谢谢你，是你救了 DH。
我接了。
And boom.
Don't move. There's bombs all over the place. Remain calm and you shall live.
Tyson warns everybody to chill out and then shows Michael tied up with a bomb strapped to him because he must have wrangled him up back there, got the camera on him to expose him. Not really expose him, actually. Michael just blows up. And the way things have been working out, I don't know if anybody knows that Michael was the bad guy. He just kind of shows the murder of a man that nobody thought was a bad guy up until this point because they led him into the event along with Tyson. But yeah, they saved.
You stay out of this. Do you really want all of these people to die? Huh?
It is very funny because Tyson doesn't want to hurt anybody, but he's still just haphazardly setting off these explosives that are right by the audience. He's just pressing one button. I hope he knows the order. He then confesses to all his sins in a very powerful monologue, and that's when he turns the gun on himself. Wait, Tyson, no. Or I guess yes. I don't know, it's your life. Suit yourself. Not in good taste, that's fun. And Tyson takes a slug to the grill, no escargot. Down goes the champ. Yan Zhen is heartbroken for the man that he spoke to that one time, and everybody watches the great disconsolate China salesman walk away.
Sir, we are under arrest.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He said he was gonna take the rap for everybody on the thing he did. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your China salesman is no hero. He's a hardened criminal, wanted for inside illegal trading and fraud. At least that's what his warrant says. I think his warrant also says he's like 40. Looking good, my guy. But yeah, I'm guessing this was for releasing the source code. He wasn't supposed to do this. But he willingly gives himself up, and then Susanna stands by his side, even though that wasn't really established either. But they're apparently ready to take whatever life throws at them. And that's when we get the little ending notes in the sky, which are, Yan Zhen was under arrest for fabricating documents and illegally releasing DH3G source code. Later released without charges, turned on the promotion, and went to help Africa some more instead. The releasing of the 3G source code did a lot for global mobile telecommunication. DH later won that lawsuit and became big dogs in the industry. What story is this? How did I learn more about fucking Admiral Zheng He than the actual story that this movie is based on through this process? Anyway, that's China Salesman, the most convoluted Steven Seagal movie I have ever had the displeasure of watching, and further displeasure of trying to explain to you. I would like for you to keep everybody and everything about this movie away from me for a very long time. Like the video. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit a milli. Thank you to my lovely patrons who enjoy some live watches over there on my Patreon. Code Mista Gigi, Gamer Subs, 10% off. Great products. And as always, I am Mista Gigi, and I am out. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Fuck!